For more on this, Jonathan Fowler joins us now from Amman in Jordan. He's the spokesperson for UNRWA, the UN's Agency for Palestine Refugees. Jonathan, thank you for taking the time to speak to us. The situation in Lebanon appears to be getting worse on an hourly basis at this stage. What are your teams there telling you about what they're seeing and the scale of this displacement?
The situation is incredibly worrying. I mean, we're seeing massive levels of violence, of the scale. I mean, the kind of violence, the kind of destruction that we saw, in the war in the Gaza Strip. This is extremely worrying, forced displacement orders, hundreds of thousands of people basically having to flee for their lives to try to find emergency shelter. Now, specifically UNRWA, we are the Agency for Palestine Refugees, so we have several 100,000 people who receive services from us in Lebanon. But in times of emergency, we cater to anybody in need without distinction, be that Palestinians, Lebanese, or indeed Syrian refugees who are in Lebanon. We've created a shelter in Saida, down there near the south in Lebanon, and we have several thousand people who are there already. And we are expecting more people to arrive. We've been rushing mattresses, food, other supplies to the shelter, and we're doing what we can, stepping up as part of the wider United Nations humanitarian operation.
Jonathan, what kind of services are you able to provide right now, especially in terms of capacity? As you say, more people are arriving, more expected, I'm sure, as this conflict continues. Also, while you continue your work in areas still affected like Gaza and the occupied West Bank.
Yes, this is an important point because our primary role is as a development agency, so providing education and healthcare for Palestine refugees in Gaza, the West Bank, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria. But as I said, we pivot to more humanitarian operations in times of crisis and conflict. But the other work has to continue. Now, schools across Lebanon have been closed. This is a measure from the Ministry of Education. So we currently have more than 30,000 children, Palestine refugee children, who are not in school. We're looking to bring in online education, but we're also facing serious challenges, for example, in providing healthcare, because the security situation has meant that of the 20-plus clinics that we have in Lebanon, in Palestine refugee camps, we're only able to run just around a dozen of them now. So the potential consequences there could be felt. In addition, difficulties with fuel supplies mean that our work in water and sanitation work in the Palestine refugee camps, that's beginning to slow down, so there's human health consequences. But regarding the shelters, of course, as I emphasised, we're catering to the population without any distinction, even though our mandate is specifically for Palestine refugees. The issue is, the longer this situation persists, the more challenging it is going to be to help people. We're launching an emergency appeal, part of our ongoing appeals. We also have our ongoing Ramadan appeal at the moment, but overall, what people need is people need respite. I mean, this escalation, this has to end. It has to end immediately in the interests of hundreds of thousands of people across Lebanon.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that, because the long-term effects on this region could be immense. They will be. Lebanon, Syria, and Palestine. It's not just the health impact that we're seeing, the psychological impact, but I would also imagine the generational trauma that comes with this, especially for children.
Precisely. I mean, children are the sort of the epitome of the victims of any conflict around the world. They are the most symbolic victims. But over and over, children in the Middle East have faced constant disruption to their lives, and this has been increasing over recent years. I mean, Gaza is of course, the most egregious example of that. But even if numbers are smaller, children are being killed in Lebanon. And the longer this persists, the more we're going to see that. And then the utter disruption to their lives, to their education. What does this mean for somebody's trajectory through the rest of their life? These constant escalations across the region. And that this is why what this region needs is peace and stability. It needs just and lasting solutions. And I mean, that's what everybody in the international community and regional actors have to focus on.
I wanted to ask, what is your message to the regional actors, to those in the international community, as we continue to see this play out day by day and over the last few years in particular, since that war on Gaza started?
Everybody has to get off the path, and they have to persuade others to get off the path that has been chosen. That's what has to happen. This is not a route to any kind of stability, and stability is what everybody needs in their lives, wherever they are in the world. There should be no exceptions. There should be no distinction. All communities have human rights. All communities should be able to benefit from stability, to live their lives and realise their potential. And that's what the international community has to focus on. I mean, this route that is being chosen, this has to end.
It certainly does. Jonathan Fowler, really good to speak to you. He's the spokesperson for UNRWA, joining us there from Jordan. Thank you.